Greetings, Novians, and welcome to episode lucky number 7 of Ask Aphelia, a NovaCorp Q&A where we answer your dual universe gameplay questions. You sent us the questions, and we got you some answers. Let's get started. Question 1. Can I submit an idea for a radio station for the exchange?
Yes, this is exactly the kind of social interaction we want to encourage with the exchange. The exchange welcomes entertainment venues such as a lounge, a bar, or a radio station. The construct would be submitted using the Alioth Exchange application form and selecting the entertainment category. In reference to running a radio station, to go with it, this could be done using a private Discord server.
Question 2. How do I get space engines to torque like adjusters?
While looking into it to answer the question, which I needed to do a little bit of digging for, as I haven't done it in a while, but I'm aware that it is indeed possible. I discovered that it actually turns out that we have a bug that currently means that you need to log out and log back in to get them to behave correctly. However, it is possible to be done via Lua using unit.setEngine command, and there are several players out there who use it currently. Typically, you would set the engine to have the torque tag and ignore its default tags, on top of which you would then enable torque, and you have to log out and log back in to get it to work at the moment. And at that point, it should, in theory, behave accordingly. I believe there are actually players out there that use it currently. So probably a good place for more information on this would be either the help chat in game, the forums, or the Lua channel on Discord.
Question 3. I don't know anything about Lua. Does Dual Universe have resources for new players to try and learn it? Maybe tutorials in game? Documentation on the website?
First of all, it's important to understand that Lua is not a tool specific to Dual Universe. It's a real programming language in its own right. So before looking at the documentation or any other sources or examples, I would recommend you to learn some algorithmic and programming notions. Then you will find in the game the codex, which acts as documentation by pressing F1, but also example of scripts on our official GitHub, link in description. But above all, if you want to learn Lua by practice, I would recommend you to turn to our community, which is very creative and which provides a lot of examples and functional scripts.
Question 4. In the Lua dev blog, you mentioned extra functionality like the telemeters. Can you give us more information on that?
So, indeed, most notably, the telemeters changed considerably on the Lua side. Previously, it was just a case of placing it, and it would return the distance between itself and the first object that it cast a ray on. We've expanded a little bit on this by adding some extra tools that might make them more fun for players who use Lua, such as you're now able to get the exact world position or local position of the telemeter in the world and its orientation towards the construct or the world. And you can also retrieve more information directly from the ray cast, so that when you cast a ray and it touches an object in the world, it doesn't just tell you how far it is, but it tells you, one, if it hit or if it did not hit anything, how far away the surface is that it hit, and the exact coordinates of that point of contact. This should bring some new usability for various different things that people might want to do with Lua, like terrain mapping or collision detection systems and other interesting community projects. Or at least, I hope so.
Question 5. Often we hear, if players really want this, let us know, on topics many of us really want and try to let you know all the time already. What is the best way to just let you know?
Oftentimes, this is meant in a specific context from our side about a specific subject, such as what do and don't you like about the new rendering changes that we brought out in Mercury. let us know so we can make adjustments that we see frequently suggested. However, it's not always as straightforward as many of us want X, as there are often also many of you who want Y. And then we end up changing something or reverting something because we get the impression that nobody's enjoying it and doesn't like it, because the vast majority of the feedback we get is negative. So that leads to us removing things that we've put in because we don't think they're liked, because that's the only impression we get. And then it often then results in some frustration from our players who think that we removed things that were good, which is very difficult when we only get one side of the feedback. So the best thing I can tell you is that every time you give feedback, try and do so in a balanced manner. Tell us some things that you do like and some things that you don't like. Always try and keep it balanced so that we have both positives and negatives to work with, and things and metrics that we can balance to see if something is more or less liked by the community. But when we only have what you don't like, we only have ammunition to remove things that you might like anyway, because nobody's telling us that they like it. So that's the best suggestion I can give you, is to always keep your feedback balanced.
Question 6. What are the favorite outposts and speeders that players choose in the FTUE?
Sure, I will give you the outpost numbers first, and then I will give you the speeders one. So for the month of June, the favorite outpost was the landing one at 33%, and then the pilot one at 21%. And the rest of them are around like 8, 7, and the lowest one is at 4%. I'm sad because my favorite outpost is not the favorite this month. So maybe next time, please. And then for the speeders, the favorite one this month is the MK7 at 59%. And then, and I'm sorry for my French accent, the Executus at 21%.
And that's all for this week's episode of Ask Aphelia. We hope that you enjoyed it. As always, if you have a dual universe gameplay question, the submission form to do so is in the description below. We're looking forward to hearing from you, so please send in those gameplay questions. Until next time, Novians, and thank you for being part of our universe.